Hello, everybody. Do you often find yourself seeing the same numbers over and over throughout a day or a week or a month? Like you're seeing this same number pattern, let's say 1111, on the clock all the time, on license plates, on billboards, on information you're reading. And you think, the rational mind will think, that's weird. That's kind of weird. You might be seeing the same symbol show up. You might be thinking about a friend, and at that very moment, they text you or call you. Well, the rational mind will come in and it will say that these things are random events, that they are, your mind playing tricks on you, things like this. But my friends, what this is a real phenomenon called synchronicity. And it is a fascinating subject, let me tell you. Synchronicity is the universe, this amazing fabric of the universe that we are part of and that we are woven into, communicating with us. Synchronicities are meaningful coincidences. In other words, they're very meaningful if you learn how to read the language that the universe is communicating to you in. This is a language that we all know that we have forgotten. So as you remember and pay attention to these breadcrumbs that the universe will drop and these signs and symbols and things for you to think about, you can really learn to work with this to your advantage in a major way. Because the universe is always broadcasting back to you these signals for you to pay attention to. So let's just say you're seeing that 222. You're seeing 222 everywhere. And you're like, how can I see that 7 times in one day? So here's something that you should do when this happens. When you see this, yes, this is the universe communicating with you. Ask yourself, what was I just thinking about? What was I just thinking about? Or what am I doing right now? So that number or symbol is trying to get your attention for you to pay attention to what's going on within you. Really, what synchronicities are doing is pointing you back to you. So think about what you were doing at that time, and it can point you in the right direction. Now, synchronicities can be so incredibly magical. I have had things happen that, they can really become mind-blowing. But many, many people are deaf to this language of the universe because all they're hearing or seeing is static. Well, why is that? Why is it that some people seem to be in constant flow and others seem to be just kind of, going through the motions and, like I said, just kind of here and there and bouncing around, broadcasting static? Well, what we have to do is we have to align and broadcast the frequency and become the frequency of what we want, of what we want to manifest, what we want to become. We have to become coherent, meaning the way that you feel on the inside, the subconscious thoughts have to match your conscious thoughts. Here's a good example. So we'll use money, trying to manifest that money, and get that bank account built up. Well, you can want money with all of your heart. You can want it. But in your subconscious mind, what are you broadcasting? Are you broadcasting that you're not worthy of money? That money has always been really hard to come by? That you've never had enough money? That maybe you come from a very poor family? You see where I'm going with this? Is your subconscious mind broadcasting a story that does not match what you want? If that's the case, that's where your blocks are in manifestation. And synchronicities are going to happen more and more and more, which are keys to living, clues, keys to the universe if we're paying attention. So the more coherent we are, the more in alignment we are, the more synchronicities we're going to have. And that's what we want. Here would be another example. Let's say that you're trying to manifest a beautiful companion, lover, husband, wife, partner, basically. Okay, and you really, really, really want this. You really want this. But your subconscious mind is broadcasting that signal of, oh, you've been hurt every time you've been in a relationship. Oh man, things have never worked out with you. You know, you always draw in these people that do this or do that. See, there's a mismatch there. So, well, here's the question. How do we become coherent? How do we become coherent so that the synchronicities and these meaningful coincidences around us happen more and more and more and more? How do we become coherent? Well, we all are very capable of becoming coherent and becoming in alignment and becoming a match for the conscious and subconscious mind. And what we have to do are things like this: mindful practices, meditation, getting still. It can be some or all of these. Getting still, connecting to your heart. 5 minutes a day. You'll hear me say this a lot. 5 minutes a day to start with can make a huge difference. 10 minutes a day is amazing. 15 minutes a day, beautiful. The more you can do this, the more coherent you become. Now, start any of these practices. Nature, being in nature, and just being still and listening and feeling the breeze through your hair and feeling the sun on your face, or maybe listening to a creek trickle in the background. Get still so that you can hear and see the synchronicities that are being broadcasted to you, so that you can see them and hear them clearly and that you don't miss them. When we're all misaligned, we're going to miss these breadcrumbs that we could follow to the pot of gold, so to speak, okay? Because the universe always has our back, and the universe wants the best for us. So the thing about synchronicity, this was really studied in depth for decades by Carl Jung. And then the quantum physicists have gotten involved as well and proven so much of this, that we are not separate from this matrix and this universe around us. We are not separate from it. We are woven into the fabric of it, and we are co-creating. We are creating our reality. We are. That is why what you're feeling on the inside is so very important. The coherence I'm talking about, this being balanced, is so important, because you are going to create into your reality whatever's going on in here. Whatever's going on in here is going to play out. So we want to do everything we can to get all of this in here healed, leveled out, dealt with, aligned, so that it mirrors in our reality just that. Okay, so you kind of see where I'm going with all this. Now, all of these concepts that I'm talking about right now, these are truer than true. These are things I have experienced over and over and over. My friends, we talk about these things. Clients, all of my closest people, we love to talk about these things because they're so magical. And the universe will blow your mind. The more you start to get into alignment, you will be mind blown at some of the things that are broadcasted back to you because you're aligning. And it starts to work very quickly. In other words, you don't have to spend 6 months trying to get into alignment before you start to see any results or see more synchronicities or get those God winks. You know, I call those God winks when you have something very synchronistic happen and you're like, I know that was you. I know that was you. So it starts to happen very quickly as you have these moments of alignment. So remember that, just a little bit each day starting out, and you train yourself to become more and more and more in alignment. So, a co-creation with the universe, where it's a dance, it's this cosmic dance that we are involved in. And again, you're never separate from it. You're never alone. You are part of something so absolutely incredible that as you tune your frequency to broadcast what you want and to be able to see the signs, the symbols, this language I'm talking about, this synchronistic language, you can really, really create and manifest some crazy, amazing things in your life. So, synchronicity has really, really been on my mind today, for a few days anyway. And I've had a lot of clarity about it. And what Spirit will do is guide me back to the things that are very, very important. And I've been thinking about this because there are a few things that I've been trying to manifest, to do in my life, and accomplish, in which the signals that I'm broadcasting are not matching up with what I want. In other words, that old trauma or that old thinking or the limiting beliefs or the ego mind are telling me the opposite. So what I have to do is I have to do those practices every time I can and get in that space and place of where your truth is, where the truth is. And when you're in that space and place, you do not doubt all of these things because you feel more love. Your heart is more open, and you know the truth. And that's where that coherence and that matching up happens. So when you're sitting there and you are aligned for however long, whatever amount of time it is, you are doing yourself and the collective consciousness something. You're doing the greatest thing you possibly can. You're giving it that punch of goodness and that solid coherence for everyone. Why? Why everyone? Because we're all part of it. We're all part of this matrix that I've drawn back here. This is a drawing that I did. Well, actually, a tapestry of it. But we are all a part of this. And, we're all key players. Every one of us matters as much as the others. So be mindful of the signal that you are broadcasting so that you can see, feel, experience more and more and more of these synchronicities. I want to hear about your synchronicities. I want to hear about your experiences. I want you to ask me questions about this because this subject is so, so important when it comes to living a joyful life and really, really following the clues and the symbols and the language of the universe. So let me know how you feel about it. And in the meantime, I will catch you guys on my next video.